Deep in the South China Sea, there is this silent war happening right now. I'm not talking about open battles, not really. This is a war fought with sand, with concrete, with steel. It's a massive geopolitical drama playing out, and one country's moves are raising a really, really strange question.
And that question? Well, it's the central mystery we're diving into today. Get this. Why is China so aggressively, violently, attacking ships from the Philippines, while at the same time completely ignoring another country that's doing something way bigger, way more ambitious, right under its nose? It just doesn't add up.
All right, so let's really break this down because it's a huge contradiction. On one hand, you've got the Philippines. They're just maintaining a few small outposts, and for that, they get constant, dangerous harassment from Chinese ships, water cannons, collisions, the whole deal. But then, on the other hand, you have Vietnam, and they're not just maintaining outposts, they're engaged in this colossal island-building project. And from Beijing, crickets, nothing. So what on earth is going on here? To even start to figure this out, you first have to grasp the sheer scale of what Vietnam is pulling off.
So yeah, Vietnam is literally manufacturing islands out of thin air in the disputed Spratly Archipelago. It's an incredibly audacious project. And make no mistake, it's a direct challenge to China's claim of dominance in the region.
21. Just let that number sink in. That's how many reefs and tiny bits of land Vietnam now controls. And they've been transforming them at an incredible pace over just the last 4 years. We're talking about an expansion that seriously rivals China's own infamous island-building campaign.
So, you might be asking, how in the world do you just build an island? Well, it's this massive, 3-step engineering marvel, really. First, you've got a dredge. That means sucking up millions upon millions of tons of sand, coral, and rock from the seafloor. Then, you build. You just pile all that material onto submerged reefs until, voila, new land actually emerges from the ocean. And then, the final, crucial step, you fortify.
And let's be crystal clear, these are not going to be peaceful tourist resorts. No way. We are talking about serious, hardcore military installations. Runways that are long enough for fighter jets to take off and land. Deep water ports big enough for naval warships. We're seeing reinforced ammo depots, advanced radar systems, even defensive trenches. Vietnam isn't just building islands, they're building floating fortresses.
Okay, so why? Why go through all this incredible trouble? What is it about this seemingly remote stretch of ocean that is so damn important that countries are literally building new land just to control a piece of it?
Well, for starters, think of it as the world's commercial superhighway. It's absolutely insane when you look at the numbers. A full a third of all the world's maritime trade sails right through these waters. We're talking trillions with a T, trillions of dollars in trade that depend on this one route staying open and stable.
And it's not just about the ships passing through the water, it's also about what's in it. This area provides about 1/5 of all the ocean fish we eat globally. And beneath all that, oh yeah, there are vast reserves of oil and natural gas, and we're still discovering more. It's a treasure trove. But okay, here's the real kicker, especially from a military point of view. For a country like the United States, if a conflict over Taiwan were to ever break out, controlling these sea lanes would be, well, everything. It would be absolutely decisive for moving ships, supplies, troops, you name it. So whoever controls these islands, they've got a massive strategic advantage. It's that simple.
Now, to really get why Vietnam is so defiant, why they're willing to do all this, we've got to go back in time. We have to look at a short, brutal, and honestly, a mostly forgotten war. A war that created this deep, lasting mistrust between two countries that were supposed to be communist brothers. So, picture this. It's February 1979. China launches a massive invasion of Vietnam. Now, the official story was that they were punishing Vietnam for toppling Cambodia's Khmer Rouge, a truly horrific regime that happened to be a key Chinese ally. But yeah, that invasion did not go the way Beijing expected.
The Vietnamese resistance was absolutely ferocious, and you have to hear this statistic to believe it. The war lasted less than a month, but in that short time, China suffered staggering losses. By some estimates, they lost more than half the number of soldiers the United States lost in 10 years of war in Vietnam. It was a brutal, humiliating lesson for Beijing.
And trust me, that history matters a lot. Diplomatically they might be friends now, but those scars, they run deep. That memory is exactly what fuels Vietnam's refusal to give up a single inch in a region they see as totally vital to who they are as a nation, especially with China's modern expansionism breathing down their necks.
Okay, so this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, because Vietnam's defiance, as fierce and as rooted in history as it is, would probably be useless if it weren't for a powerful new player in this game, a very unlikely ally that completely changes the whole strategic picture.
I mean, let's just be real for a second about the military math here. In a straight-up fight or direct all-out conflict, Vietnam doesn't stand a chance. China's military is just overwhelmingly superior. They could easily overpower Vietnam's defenses. So again, how can they be so bold? What's their secret?
Well, it turns out they have an ace up their sleeve, and that ace is the fact that two former bitter enemies are now becoming strategic partners. Just recently, the U.S. Secretary of Defense paid a visit to Hanoi. The official public reason was all about managing money for cleaning up old chemical agents from the war. But you and I both know that behind those closed doors, the real agenda was clear: to strengthen ties between two countries that now share the exact same powerful adversary.
And there it is. That's the answer to our mystery. China isn't being weak by staying silent. It's being incredibly strategic. See, an attack on one of Vietnam's new islands isn't just an attack on Vietnam anymore. It's a move that could very well provoke a direct confrontation with Vietnam's powerful new friend, the United States. And that is a risk that Beijing, for now, is simply not willing to take.
So what this all means is that Vietnam, through some really audacious engineering and some very shrewd diplomacy, has completely changed its position on the global chessboard, which leaves us with one last big question to think about. In this massive great power game, is Vietnam just a pawn being moved around, or has it managed to become a new queen on the board?
Hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, do us a favor and hit that like button. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop your own analysis in the comments below. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Today in the Military World so you don't miss our next one. Thanks for watching.